This year's two-mallet etude comes from the book Modern School for Xylophone, Marimba, and Vibraphone by Morris Goldenberg. And I know what you're thinking. Why is it called Modern School? As it's not actually a modern book anymore, because it's quite old. But it's still really important, and there's so much we can learn from it. You'll find it on page 85, and it's number 28. And I'm telling you that in case you don't know your Roman numerals. Let's talk about style. Style is, of course, important with anything you play. Oftentimes, the composer leaves us a little bit of clue on what that looks like. And in this etude, you'll notice the word allegro right there written at the beginning. Allegro has its origin from the Italian language, and it means lively, or to play in a lively way. So that gives us quite a good clue on how to approach this. So in a musical application, it really means at a brisk tempo, essentially. So keep this etude light. When we think about the word brisk, we think about light and not heavy. So to prevent this from getting heavy, make sure you use a finger fulcrum. You can see how much stick is moving in my hand, as opposed to an actual, full hand fulcrum. All right, this gives you a very heavy sound. All right, so you'll have a lot of problems keeping this light if you use your entire hand to make the stroke. Okay, mallet choice. Of course, that's important. With this repertoire and this older type of repertoire, it lives primarily up in this part of the instrument. I like to use something with rattan handles, okay, and a nice, pretty hard rubber ball. These are the Pius Chung No. 4 models from Innovative Percussion. I really like the feel of the rattan because we hold it up here when we play. We hold it a little higher up when we play with two mallets. This soft yarn really helps the attack also when we're playing something like this, which is a very tonal piece of music. Okay, what's difficult with this thing? You look at this on the page and you might think it's no big deal, but don't underestimate it, all right? It may look easy, but don't fall into this trap, okay? At quarter note equals 92 to 104, this etude is really challenging because it presents us with having to make quick, wide leaps with the same hand. So considering how much movement this etude requires, efficiency is just really important. I talked about that in some of these other videos, right? So when traveling quickly between the upper manual and the lower manual, play the upper manual bars on the extreme edge, all right? It's really good advice, all right? You just got to make sure you hit the actual extreme edge. Notice I use the word extreme. Okay, this will allow for a more efficient movement, not having to move so far this way to reach, okay? So when I play this, I only play 3 upper manual notes in the center of the bar. The F sharp in measure 7, the C sharp in measure 28, and the second B flat in measure 36. There's only a few rolls in this etude, so when executing these, be sure to keep your fingers relaxed. Remember that finger fulcrum we mentioned earlier in the video? You stroke very low, vary the speed of the roll to use the edge of the bar to remain efficient. If you do those 3 things I mentioned, that will help hide the attack of the mallets, minimizing the regularity of the attacks, and allowing the listener to hear mainly the sustain of the bars. The whole point of worrying about everything we've talked about this far, how to play rolls, how to hold the sticks, choosing the right mallets, all those things. If all those things don't add up to a greater whole, all right, and allow us to play musically, then we've wasted our time and we're not going in the right direction. All right, to take the next step, phrase toward the end of the cadence points, all right? That's a good idea. Think of the cadence point as a period, and we want to go all the way to the end of that period, much like we do in a sentence, all right? Phrase to the top notes in sequences. So as it goes to the top, phrase to the top note, and then start again, and phrase to the top note. There was a need to add all kinds of dynamics to this etude, so be sure to check out those changes on the TMEA site. And don't underestimate this one, you guys. This is a difficult piece for sure. So what are you waiting for? Go get started. still here? It's over. Go practice.